meteorologist Chase Jones.
Well, I was talking with my production assistant, so we're going to change gears a little bit and switch the tone. Now, we're watching how much humidity is making its way in because we're looking at some pretty powerful storms. A lot of these states across the entire nation are under winter storm alerts, and of course, we're seeing some of that humidity come from the Concho Valley. Now, temperature change over the last 24 hours with this cloud cover making its way in dropped us down into the 40s, and we only warmed up into those 60s. You saw that blanket of cloud cover make its way in by the evening, and that's what's allowing us to cool down pretty slowly. Now, the winds are going to be out of the east, so they're going to be pretty cold, along with some of that cold air making its way in from Canada. 53 in San Angelo, everybody else in a combination of those upper 50s and those lower 50s across the entire region. You can see the blues off towards the northeast where those colder winds are making their way in from. 54 in Sterling City, 57 down there in Junction. So we're inside the 10 degrees right now, only about 3. So we've seen those moisture values come together pretty closely. And when we look at the humidity values in the atmosphere, that's exactly what the reflection shows. Seeing those dew points in the 40s and the 30s. So you're going to see a pretty chilly morning. But the humidity indices are in those 60s all the way off into those 40s. So we're tracking some of the dry air off towards the west as we start to see some of that cloud cover build in. Now, the upper level pattern is showing you where the cold air is at, along with that cutoff low off the west coast. That's where we're going to continue to see some of this moisture try to fight its way across the Sierra Madres. Last week, we were watching some of that low cloud cover drag across the Rocky Mountains, and they saw about 4 feet of snow. Now, the moisture in the Concho Valley will work its way up with this cutoff low and take aim again at the Great Lakes, where they'll see another 4 feet of lake effect snow. Right behind it, we'll see some more temperatures around the 50s and 60s after a weekend of some light rain shower activity. Right now, water vapor tracking the cold air making its way down from the north, and this is the pocket we have our eye on for some of that winter storm activity. Of course, we're talking about the post-holiday travel. Off the west coast, we're looking at our pocket of moisture, and then the next winter storm making its way down, and we already have the road paved completely across the Rocky Mountains with all that snow cover, so it's going to get pretty chilly pretty quick. When we look at sort of the moisture tracker, we're tracking the dry air, but seeing the resurgence of that moisture again around the Concho Valley. The blue will pull up somewhere around the Mississippi River Valley, and then you'll see that cold air slide in right behind it, and it will dump more snow. Now, we know cold air sort of lifts warm air up into the atmosphere, so we'll see just how much snow there will be. So severe weather outlook pretty quiet right now, but a lot of winter storm alerts are going off across the entire nation. That includes anywhere from the Dakotas all the way down into Kentucky, where they saw impressive amounts of snow today, and it's already taking aim at the Carolinas. Down in Texas, we're just tracking the cloud cover making its way in from the west, again refueling the atmosphere by this weekend, some light rain. Futurecast is going to show you how we'll deal with that cloudy morning, even though we'll be on the colder side. Then we'll see it sort of push out of the way, then fight its way back by about Thursday morning. Now, this sort of light cloud cover or that low cloud cover will turn into some light rain again by the weekend. So tonight, we're going to be dropping all the way back down into the 40s, keeping our eye on that low cloud cover and those easterly winds. Then tomorrow, we're going to struggle to get there with that dense cloud cover up into those lower 60s, depending on who you ask. Me, that's too cold. Brian, that's absolutely freezing. Griff is getting okay with it, and Haley wants it a little bit colder. So as we make our way through the rest of the week and get closer towards those holiday decorating conditions, we're going to continue to float somewhere in those mid-60s. But of course, seeing those stronger southerly winds. By the weekend, we drop all the way back down to what Brian would call freezing while we see some of that light rain. As we make our way into a sort of Griff comfortable weekend, we can see some of those temperatures return back into those 70s. And personally for me, 60s and 40s, pretty perfect. Stay tuned. One more for the break. You're watching KSAN News at 10.